welcome back. We are continuing our Django and Python tutorials, and we're looking at unit tests. We're going to continue where we left off last time around, and we're going to look at the client side of this. So let's come in, and actually I'm going to blow away a couple of these prints. And we're going to create a test 4. And this time, we're going to use a client. Now, we haven't set them up yet, so we're going to create, we're just going to call them C. Whoops. And we're going to create him from the start. So we will have a client here. And then we get to come in here, and it's actually pretty easy. We're going to do our response is equal to c.get, and then we give it an address, a URL address. So let's look at our URLs. Let's see, I'm going to take several of these and move them over to test because we're going to play around with it in a minute. Whoop. And we're going to, whoops. I'll comment those out. That's good enough. Let's get rid of those. So let's start with the first one. We're just going to do a get slash, and right now we're just going to print. So let's take a look at what our response is when we run that. Oh, it helps to actually do that properly. So what happens when you change languages a lot? So let's go back to this. Let's run our, let's do this. Let's clear, and then run our tests. Oh, C is not defined because it's not C, it is self.c. Because this is within the class itself. It's one of its properties. Okay, so here is our response. Is that we came back from just our home. We just get a, and here it's actually going to try to go out and do a login. Now if we do, let's take a look at, let's do something simple. Let's do web. I don't even remember what that was. Let's take a look at that. So if we go to web, and notice we're not, these are going to pass because we have no assertions whatsoever. And actually, let's do a couple of these. So let's do web, and let's take a look at task. Why not? Okay, so if we look at those and we run our tests. Now, this is going to be, so our first one we come in, we had our home. The next one, it's just going to give us a response code and nothing really terribly useful out of there. Notice the one we got the redirect because then we need to log in to get to the home page. The next one we did not, so we just get a straight up 200 response. And then we get an error. And this one is because when we call, what were we calling? Task. One of the things is that it was expecting us to have some sort of an owner because we've got to have that, we've got to have a session built in. So it's going to blow up there. So let's play around with these a little bit more. And here, let's do, let's see, what would make sense for us to do? Let's play around with this and print a couple things out, actually. First, we're going to do our code, and we do that with status code. So this is going to be a status underscore code. So this will be that 302. We'll see here the 200, and then we'll go ahead and do this one. Why not? Just print out those codes. And so we're going to see here, we got our 302, we get our 200, and this one was a 200, but I don't think it, yeah, so it blew up before it actually got a response there. Because, again, because we're not sending stuff in properly. So what we would need to do is actually go in and do a login if we wanted to really do like a task. So in this case, I'm going to do this one a little different. Self.c.post, and we're going to go to task. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to it's going to be self.c.login, and then we're going to do username equals and password equals, and I believe I have a tester that I created with a developer password, and I'm going to print the login just to be safe. So let's do that first. Whoops, that's views, I don't need that. And okay, so I did get my successful login there. And so then, let's see. Where are those print statements? Let's get a couple of those knocked out. Let's just do this for now. So clean it up a little bit. Now, when I logged in here, and then I get a task, let's see what it was telling me now. Oh, you know what? Because it's creating a task, it was, I want to get tasks. That was create task. I'd have to post to do that. So let's do tasks. And, oh, that's not what I want. I want this one. And so now we see that we do get our 200, but we want to do something useful with it. So let's take a look at, that is not it. We're going to take a look at this, and let's actually take a look at, instead of just our response status code, we're going to look at our response dot, use our context. And I think if we get that, let's see what we get out of that. So now we see here that we actually get something much more interesting here. We get, we've got a true, a false, and none. We've got that CSRF token. And what we're looking at here, if you can sort of parse your way through it, is that this is that actual form plus information that comes around it. So you can see where we have the form itself with the titles, the tasks. We've got the token that's in the form. Let's see, we've got the user that's within there. We've got some messages in case there's any set there. We've got some information that we could set message levels, and of course then, again, title and task. So that's the actual parameters that are sent across. Now here, we have no tasks, so nothing's going to display. But let's go back and do let's create, we can get it. Let's just do it this way. With our setup now, let's do create a task. Or TISC. We create our task. And I think it needs a name. And what else does it need? Task needs a name, a due date, status, owner. So let's look at this. We don't have any users in here, do we? Let's see what happens. I don't think we can pull that off. We're going to have to create a user first. So it's got a name, due date, can be blank. Completion date can be blank. Status can be anything, but we'll just go ahead and set it status to task.status equals status, and we'll just use that status we just built. Attachment can stay, minutes spent can be blank. Creation date, let's see if we can get away with this. We may need our owner. So if we take that and do task save, let's see what happens. And so owner ID cannot be null because, okay, so let's see if we can make this work. Oh, that's not it. Let's see, we will probably need here. We may be able to get away with it. Let's see. Probably going to have to import. Yeah, because we're going to have to actually take that in. And that is, we haven't actually played with this yet, but that actually does come from, actually maybe we have. Oh, we have not yet. So let's flip back to our test. So I'm going to take this from Django contrib auth models. And from there I get to bring in the user. And then I can come down here. This is actually going to change stuff around a little bit. So let's go to user equals user dot. So I can take user dot models dot create user and give it a name equals, well, let's just say column tester and password 1. So we'll give it a password, let's do like QWERTY123. And then we can take that user and make him the owner. And then actually that's where we're going to need that to log in, because before we failed on our login. So now let's play around with this and see if that gives us what we need. Okay, so we, oh, it's not models. I think it's probably model. Let's see. Where did I do that? Oh, it's not models. It is. This is off of objects. It's one of those things that we skipped the first time around, but there are ways to quickly, within the objects, in the model configuration that Django has, that we can actually do a create rather quickly by assigning out certain values, the required fields. So let's get a shot at that. Clear it and test it. Oh, it's username, not name. So let's go back here. Oh, and probably down here. That was username. So now what we're going to see here, so owner ID cannot be null, so it's not getting that assignment correctly. And if we look, I think that is with every single one. There's an owner. Oh, because it should tell me what line it is, just to be line 24. Oh, so if I do a create user, I actually need to do, I don't think he returns them, so I need to do user equals user dot objects dot get username equals tester. Let's see if that works. And let's just do print tester just to be safe. Oh, not print tester, print user. And we'll take a look at this. So if we look up here, it is not getting it. And we're getting an assignment error. So let's see, what did we forget? Let's go back to our tests. Oh, my mistake. I actually have to do this. And then I have to actually save him. I got to save the record. So I created it, but I did not save it. So now, if I go in and clear and test, now we're going to see something slightly different. Oh, no, we're still getting it in the owner. What did we do? So let's take a look at this. And we'll see that up here, it is getting him back. Oh, creation date. Oh, that's okay. That is a warning. So we're okay with that. And we come here and our ID is null for some reason. So let's take a look at that. Oh, helps to get case proper there. Let's get rid of our print. And now let's go in here. And we get our warnings for our dates, but now it's going to run our tests. And we're going to see, let's see, so it comes through and it actually ran through essentially everything this time. So let's take a look at, well, when we come through, what were we getting? We were getting tasks. So now we're going to see that we have our one task, which is item 1, does exist in there that we went and created here. We created that task, and now we see that we're actually logging in and getting that. Now we can do some checks here, so we could, let's simplify it a little bit, and let's just create the user and the task in this last test. Let's do a little setup thing. And then we're going to log in, and then we're going to print login.status code. And we're actually going to assert because we want to make sure we log in properly. So we're going to assert equal the status code. And I believe it's going to be a string of 200. And so let's see what happens here. Whoops, or 2000, that would be bad. We get login status code. Okay, so let's take a look at it. And here we get that it runs through, it gets an error. And the error here is that task.status status is not defined. So let's go look at that real quick. Oh, that's because let's do this. So our status, that equals status dot objects dot get. We call that short code, short name equal to CNC. Let's do COMP. And now our error is going to come in. Oh, did I not get status? Let's see. Let's take a look at that. Oh, it's lookup status. So I run it now. Oh, okay, that's not what it's called. It is called with the lowercase l. So lots of these little things to deal with when you're trying to quickly code something in. And this time, oh, this one is because the login actually is giving us just a true or false. It's not giving us, because the login is not a call, it's not a post. Let's see. Whoops, on tests. Then I don't get a status code. So I could just say, I'm just going to make sure that it's true. And then if it is, then I can always come back in and I'm going to assert that I should get, as we see here, oh, we did not print out our status code, but actually we did back here somewhere. We're going to see back in here, we get that status code of 200. So we should see that. Let's see, so we assert equal login. Oh, I see what I did there. I see what I did there. So then this one should be response is 200. I'm going to print out the response.status code just because and run it. So just to run this through, let's get rid of that print. Let's run our test. And now we ran through. Now you will see some of these warnings depending on how you set stuff up, how your dates and times. We've not gone in and done a whole lot with that. Not going to get too deep into this because you should be able to see roughly from this how to do some, how to log in, how to get some results back. You check your status codes. There's not a whole lot that you really necessarily going to do on this end, I would think. Because most likely you're going to use things like this, your back end, to actually create your data. But you could do some posts and puts and things of that nature. You're going to be able to send them across parameters, much the same, and then see what your response codes are. So went a little long this way because got a little bit of a typo issue, but hopefully that gives you an idea of some basic unit test stuff. We will continue to look at this as we get further into building out our application. So go out there, have yourself a great day, and we will talk to you next time.